Hello, I am Ramzi Abou Assali, pastor of the National Evangelical Church of Zahleh, which is under the affiliation of the National Evangelical Synod of Syria and Lebanon. A brief notion about the history of our church. Some English missionaries came to our town in the year 1850, and they started sharing the gospel with the local people. But shortly after that time, they were cast out and rejected violently by the locals. That was due to the fanatic Catholic majority of the city. In the year 1860, a great change in the political and economical situation took place. After the Depression and war, the mindset of the people of Zahleh got more tolerant and flexible. That was a turning point in our ministry during modern history. In that year, an English missionary named Mrs. Bowen Thompson came to Zahleh and she established an orphanage. Unfortunately, she died shortly after in the year 1869. In the year 1870, the American missionary decided to establish an evangelical center in Zahleh, aiming at spreading the gospel to the Bekaa Valley, of which Zahleh was its center. And during this time, our church was established. In addition to that, the missionaries established 3 schools. Only one of them has survived until today. Some of the missionaries are Gerald Dale, William and Henry Jessup, Franklin Hoskinson, Paul Erdman, and William Freidinker. The missionaries worked at preparing some local pastors so that they can participate in the ministry. Reverend Murad Haddad in the year 1900, then Reverend Mufid Abdul Karim, and then Reverend George Hajjar. In the first part of the 1930s, the missionaries relocated their ministry from Zahleh to Beirut, the capital of Lebanon, while the Lebanese pastors continued to serve under the supervision of the missionaries. A new phase started in the year 1943 with the arrival of a young pastor, Reverend Shawqi Hawli from Syria, who worked hard in both the Evangelical Church and the Evangelical School of Zahleh. Reverend Hawli ministered the church for about 40 years. During that period, he raised funds and built a new building for the church in the year 1976, the one we are using now. After Reverend Hawli, a number of pastors succeeded over the ministry. Reverend Adib Awad, Reverend Munir Hanni, Reverend Fadi Dagher, and myself at the end of the year 2009. I would like to note that the Church of Zahleh is my mother church. Zahleh Church is a small congregation which has an average attendance on Sunday, between brackets before COVID-19 pandemic, of about 60 persons. We have a Sunday school ministry, Bible study meetings, and women's meetings. We are Reformed and Presbyterians by faith, and we belong to the National Evangelical Synod of Syria and Lebanon, as was previously mentioned. Thank you.